Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and today's game is Mega Man X4! Alright, so Mega Man X4 is my personal favorite entry in the Mega Man X series. Even though I think Mega Man X1 is still the best of the games, but X4 is my personal favorite, and you will find out why. So I first played Mega Man X4 actually as Rockman X4. My friend lent me the bootlegged version he got from China, but don't worry, I completely bought my legitimate copy a couple years later. So my friend kind of taught me how to do the CD swap trick on the original PlayStation, so I put in Rockman X4 in my PlayStation 1, and then when I turned it on, I heard the greatest thing ever! The Rockman X4 opening song. Unbeatable Love I Surely Have by Yuki Nakama, and this is the song that made me obsessed, like otaku obsessed with Japanese music. So I started playing this game in the fall of 1998. I was a senior in high school, and this is the time when Dragon Ball Z was the #1 anime on Cartoon Network. And I was getting really obsessed with anime at the time, so I would put this game in and I would listen to the theme song over and over, and I would try to sing along with it to not so good results. Okay, I won't sing that anymore, sorry. So one of the reasons why I love Mega Man X4, because I thought X3 was a bit too dark, way too extreme, on steroids, too hardcore, and Mega Man X4 totally brought that down a lot. I mean, it went back to being lighthearted and fun, like Mega Man X1. And also, because now this was the first Mega Man X game on the PlayStation, it took advantage of the PlayStation's capabilities. And now we had way more vibrant stages, way more vibrant music. I mean, the music in this game was incredible. I mean, it was like I was playing an anime, just like Mega Man 8. Yeah, so transitioning into the PlayStation era, we got enhanced storytelling, told through anime cutscenes, and also rather than having the Maverick Hunters versus the Mavericks, good versus evil. You got the main central characters of this game, the Repliforce, which is a robotic army wrongfully accused of turning against the humans, and you can see the tension between X and Colonel at the beginning of the game. So the motivation of the Repliforce was their fight for independence rather than being labeled as Mavericks. I mean, you felt their struggle. You felt the tension between X and the Robot Masters. Not all of them are Mavericks now. They're just trying to fight for their independence. You had Zero and Iris, and the conflict with them and Colonel. I mean, you kind of felt like it tugged on your heartstrings a bit. So I said the Mavericks and X3 could easily eat the Mavericks from X1 and 2 for lunch, but the Mavericks in X4 are definitely toned down a lot more than the ones in X3. I mean, I really liked Magma Dragoon and his Street Fighter moves, and I also like Split Mushroom because he was a bit of a cool, bouncy Maverick. And just like Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4 has anime cutscenes and they look fantastic. I mean, even way better than the animation from Rockman X3. And I played Rockman X4 first, so I heard the Japanese voice acting, even though I didn't know what was going on. And the voice acting sounded great. But then I played the US version. The voice acting was a bit, X kind of sounded like Mickey Mouse. And then you had Zero's Oscar performance. What am I fighting for? What am I fighting for? Although I thought Colonel's voice was fun, I did like they added an accent to it. And General's voice, it's kind of funny when you fight him. He's like, I have no choice.
My fate is sealed. I have no choice.
And also Sigma sounded like, the standard villain. He sounded okay.
Are you ready for your final journey?
Yeah, so Mega Man X4, you can play as Zero the entire campaign, unlike Mega Man X3 where you can barely use him 1/3 through any given stage. Yeah, Zero is really, really fun to use. I mean, it adds a layer of extra strategy you have to use to defeat the Mavericks. I mean, his sword techniques require you to be close up, so you can't just be like X, hop on the wall and fire from across the stage. I mean, you have to get up close and personal with the Mavericks and slash the hell out of them. Probably also the biggest thing I love about this game, besides the intro, was Dr. Wily. Like, now we have confirmation that Dr. Wily made Zero. I mean, in X3 they were like, X has to save the world by destroying Zero, and X2 was like, this is the last of the Doctor's creations. But the Japanese version of X2 saying, he's the last of the Wily numbers, and they're like, so we get 100% confirmation that Dr. Wily is Zero's master. Like, holy crap! Yeah, like that cutscene where Zero and Sigma fight, and like you see like the Wily symbol on Zero's head, and Sigma punches it out. Like, you're like, holy shit, Dr. Wily has so much more involvement in the X series than we know. Yeah, so I remember the challenge of this game of definitely being a bit easier than X3, but a little harder than Mega Man X1 and 2. I mean, you had some kind of mandatory parts where Jet Stingray stage where you're on the cycle and where you can easily crash, which kind of sucked in my opinion. So they definitely upped the challenge by reducing your sub-tanks down to 2, but you get 1 weapon tank, which is pretty cool. And I remember the final fight with Sigma being pretty difficult, almost on the same level of X3, but not quite. I remember having a bit of trouble with X and Zero, especially on the second form of Sigma where you had the 3 heads and you had the big head Sigma, blasting away. But after a lot of persistence, I was able to prevail. But on repeat playthroughs of this game, I put the cheat code for the ultimate armor for X and Zero, so I did it that way. Yeah, so the endings for both of the characters of this game, like the Super Nintendo versions, are a bit sad, but not quite as uplifting. We don't exactly get that message saying, hey, will they realize Dr. Light's dream, or will X have to continue fighting? I mean, X is like, if I ever become a Maverick, will you destroy me, Zero? And Zero's like, is this what I'm destined to become? I mean, the ending isn't exactly as uplifting as the Super Nintendo versions. So Mega Man X4 is my personal favorite entry in the X series. Although I don't think it's the best of the X games. I mean, X1 is still, I think, is the best X game, but Mega Man X4 is my personal favorite. Because you had the awesome anime intro, especially the Japanese version. You got the great anime cutscenes that look great. Great music, very, very vibrant graphics. Very, very good storyline with a lot of tragedy, drama, plot twists that you can now tell on the PlayStation as opposed to the Super Nintendo. I mean, overall, it's a very, very solid game, and I totally recommend it, obviously. Yeah, so you can get Mega Man X4 on the PlayStation Store to play under PS3 for a pretty decent price, and both of these are not very expensive to get, so you can definitely get these on eBay. So that wraps up this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories. I'm Ryan, and if you have any memories of this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. Take care!